Hello and welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. I am going to be your temporary host until Paul gets here. I am Dustin, joined by the illustrious Adam Camilleri.
Oh, g'day, our illustrious host. Jeez, you've lost some hair.
Have I? Oh, I've lost a lot of it. I styled it one day and it just all came out, man. It's stress. It's all stress.
Nice. We have two fantastic events to bring to you today. We're a little short on time on this episode, so we've had to send it while we're waiting on Paul to jump in live, but he's a consummate professional. You won't even notice he wasn't here. We have the Sheffield Super Major and the Toronto Team Open, which Dustin's going to be able to give us some insight into.
I'm excited.
Now, no event shout outs, but we are fresh back from Adepticon and all those things. So forgive us if we're a little bit rusty, and we haven't been doing those part twos. But if you would like to support us in any way, shape, or form, please like, share, subscribe, all this good stuff. And you can come get a part two of the show over on Patreon at our second tier at Warhammer Meta Chasers. And we will be back to doing those consistently now that we're back from Adepticon. Dusty boy, how you doing? You excited about your event? Because you're playing this weekend.
I am playing this weekend. I am so excited. I love team events, and I love that more local ones are coming up, and I love that Paul has just entered the chat. I'll get him in here. 1 second. Nobody can hear you yet, Paul, so don't say anything yet. But
it's okay. I'll start us off with the intro to the Sheffield Super Major from Sheffield, England. 212 players, 7 rounds, and what we will be seeing there is 1 Imperial Agent, 3 Adeptus Sororitas, 16 Custodes, 3 Cult Mechanicus or Adeptus Mechanicus, 14 Astra Militarum, 4 Grey Knights, and 12 Imperial Knights. Very high Imperial Knights numbers. For the Space Marines breakdown, we have 7 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 12 Blood Angels, 2 Black Templars, and a single Death Watch. The single Death Watch always surprises me. Like it is
always one, isn't it? It's always one.
But I've never seen an army that won like LVO not get like an uptick, and I've said that on previous shows as well, but it still surprises me.
We're gonna keep saying it because it's still surprising.
It's still surprising. For Chaos, we have 4 Chaos Space Marines, which are actually very low on the Chaos Space Marine front. Usually, we're seeing them hit double digits at a minimum in many places over the world, but very low here. 4,000 Suns, 9 Death Guard. Yep, it's Europe. 11 World Eaters, 14 Demons, the vast majority of which are Shadow Legion. 11 Chaos Knights. So between 11 Chaos Knights and 12 Imperial Knights, that is a hell of a lot of Knights. That is a lot of big armored walkers, stompy boys. In Xenos, we have 9 Necrons, which is low for Necrons, 16 Orcs, way up for Orcs, 6 Tau, 8 Votan. In the Hive Mind, you'll be happy to hear 16 Tyranids, 5 Gene Silicolts.
Yes.
But Eldari is 16 Eldari and a big old donut for Drakari. Absolutely no Drakari players in 212.
That's crazy, actually.
What is crazier is that faction podium, Dustin. Tell us about it, because this is probably the best faction podium we have seen this year and may hold the test of time.
It is definitely the one this year. I think we had 13 once. I think the 13 is the record right now. But right now we're looking at, as number 1, we have a 4-way tie with Tyranids, Eldari, Orcs, and Custodes. And then Astra Military Demons behind that in 14.
Yep.
Go ahead. You were going to say something about the top one?
Having 4 in pole position is unheard of.
Oh yeah,
that's the one. That's the one that's really impressive.
That's
usually it's one or two in first place, and usually we have huge multitudes, like sometimes 4, 5 in like second and third place, 4th and 5th place, whatever. But to have 4 in first place is legitimately possibly a first.
That's amazing. I think that is a first, actually. That's amazing. I love that, and especially an event this big too.
Yeah,
when it's smaller, it's easier to get those like ties up there. But when an event this big, you have 4 on the top. That's crazy. Then we also have Imperial Knights and Blood Angels in third, tied with 12 each. World Eaters and Chaos Knights right behind them with 11. Necrons and Death Guard then with 9. And then that's 12. Perfect faction, guys. That's
holy moly. Yeah, this is up there for utter perfection.
It is 100% the current front runner for this year. But I'm pretty sure 13 is the record. I think 13 is the record.
Paul, you'll be happy to hear, but for the first time in probably the last 12 months, Vanilla Adeptus Astartes is not number 1 in representation in Space Marines. Blood Angels has overtaken them, and by significant numbers. There's 5 more Blood Angels than Adeptus Astartes.
Absolutely, finally. Yeah.
Balance has been maintained, has been brought back to the Force.
No more bloodless angels.
Well, that's surprising, right?
The true faction.
Yeah. Any ideas why it might be? Why we're seeing the swing back to the Blood Angels?
Fast moving can go out and root out the Eldari. I think the Eldari are a threat, and orcs are a threat, and chainswords do really well against both those factions.
They do. That's true.
You are correct.
Actually, you know what? That's a really good point. The Blood Angel MSU can actually have a game at the Daka or more Daka.
Correct. And that is what people are working on. People are working on this groupthink assumption that Blood Angels might be the best counter in the meta for orcs. And they're also, like Paul said, extremely strong at Eldari. So they fight the top of the meta extremely well. And that's simply for the fact of the case that like 3 Outriders needs a whole unit of tank busters to guarantee death. But you have 3 units of Outriders, for example. 5 jump pack intercessors requires a whole unit of looters and possibly a shock attack gun if they're in cover to remove, or a bunch of CP. And you have 3 of those. And then you have
how weird you talk about Outriders. Outriders have existed now for what, 7 years? 6 years?
It's been at least 6-7 years, yeah.
Yep. And are now just like getting a bit of a renaissance. They were good for a time in White Scars when they can get the +1 damage towards the end of the game in previous editions. But yeah, now they're really starting to get a lift again. And in addition to that, there's a lot of Blade Guard in those lists and a lot of Jump Pack Death Company in those lists, Paul. 3x5 JPIs, 3x5 Jump Pack Death Company could literally just sending missiles out, and each one of them takes a quality activation to believe you're going to kill. And considering they're most likely all be in cover, and you can only plus the AP on I think 2 activations can get plus AP, and most likely you want to double those up especially on looters, so they're like AP2 ignores cover. And I'm treating ignores cover as an extra AP ability. You really, really are at the whims of the, oh my god, I rolled below average 6s this game and Blood Angels ran me over.
No, that makes sense. And yes, KR, Mordaka is legal in this event.
It is. Yeah. It is absolutely legal in this event. To that end, should
we talk about that for a bit?
Yes,
yeah, for sure.
By all means. I talk about it on every show I'm on. I'm ready. Let's go.
No. I do believe that it's up to the tournament organizers to assess what risk they want to take. And there are some folks that feel like they're taking a stance, and this has come up a couple different times. And although, like, this Adepticon this past weekend, I'm pointing behind me like it was just last weekend because it is.
It was.
It feels like it was like.
Hey, you are on video. We can see you pointing. It's okay.
More recent than that is what it feels like, or whatever. And that detachment, while powerful, got cracked. And it wasn't by luck. It wasn't like just die rolls that cracked him. It was some good generalship that cracked it.
Yeah. Legitimately, there was 3 that made the top 8, and none of them made it out of the top 8. So 3 of the top 8 were Daka, but then they all lost in the quarterfinals going into the semis. So it's a huge deal that happened. In saying that, I have done detachment breakdowns. I haven't pulled out any lists. I've done detachment breakdowns for all 4 of those top placing factions. So 16 players each. The first of which is Eldari. So the Eldari detachment breakdown is, and I've given funny titles because I had an extra slot there. This is now, you'll see in the yellow there, what I'll now be referring to the devoted of your Uniad as, devoted of your nerds. This is 8 devoted of your nerds of the 16, 2 aspect hosts, 1 seer council, 1 spirit conclave, 1 war host, 1 wind rider host, and 1 ghost of the webway.
Wow.
So despite that being very stratified into the fact that it is half devoted of your nerd, there is still a lot of representation for other detachments, which I think is awesome and shows the depth and the fact that Eldari players just kind of want to play with a bunch of different stuff at times, which I like a lot. That the internal balance of that detachment, the detachments in that book are so good.
Yeah,
like Ynnari is percentile better. Yeah, is probably percentile better than most, and aspect host is percentile better than most. But then, like, that percent is not huge. It's like 5 to 10% better. And then the rest of these are all just really strong, really playable detachments.
Yeah, they're actually there's playing all of them, and in singles, that's a good place to try it out, because I feel like any one of those can make a team for sure, like in a team event, because they can be skewed certain ways, especially Ghost of the Web.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually waiting for someone to crush an event with Ghost of the Webway, because I think it has a lot of potential. But it is like Ynnari, it's a very high skill ceiling army. Like you got to be proficient. You got to be absolutely proficient. Next up, we have the Orcs detachment breakdown, and it will surprise no one that 9 of the 16 are Mordaka.
But it will surprise a lot of people that 7 of the 16 are not Mordaka.
Not Mordaka. That's exactly right. That is more the surprise. And that could be model stuff. That could be people just don't have 3 units of tank busters, of the new tank busters. They're relatively new. They might not have 30 looters hanging around. They might not have 15 flash kits or whatever, how many flash kits you take, or 3 shock attack guns. It might just be a little bit of hobby lag for some people, or some people unwilling to play, not feeling like it's a very awkward way to play the game. Or they don't have Zogrod, whatever his name is, and or the Gretchen, and they won't be put in the jail, stuff like that. But we have 9 Mordaka out of 16, 3 Warhorde, 2 Tactical Brigade, 1 Bully Boy, and 1 Dread Mob to make up that 16 pack. And yes, please GW, less Daka ? Is the title of this breakdown. Anything there surprise you, boys? It actually surprised me that there was more Warhorde than Tactical. I assumed Tactical would be the second most taken, but it wasn't the case.
I feel like after Tactical got their hit and Mordaka came out, that doesn't surprise me too much, because I do feel like Warhorde kind of... Actually, you know what does surprise me? I'm surprised to not see any more of the Dread Mob. I actually like the Dread Mob.
The one thing I will say, Mordaka smashes Tactical Brigade in every way, because none of their buffs work, because there's no monsters, there's no vehicles, there's no nothing. Oh, cool. You used your buffs to kill the truck. Cool. You were going to kill the truck anyway. Doesn't really matter. But Warhorde actually has a game into Daka.
Yeah.
Legitimately. So
sure.
Legit. Like, I mean, the blast guns on the tank busters are a problem, but on the war turn, you can actually shrug off a lot and connect with a lot of punches and actually get stuff out of trucks and smash them. So I think Warhorde might be the Orc detachment has the best play into Mordaka. I still don't think it's a favorable matchup. I'm not here telling you it's a silver bullet or anything, but if you were playing in Orcs to beat Orcs, I think Warhorde's probably the way to go.
Yep, I could see that.
Next up, we have Custodes. And all that glitters is lions.
Wow,
so of the 16,
right on that, eh?
all the 16 being taken, 10 of them are Lions of the Emperor, nice. A brand new detachment. Yeah, 4 Shield Host, a single Talons of the Emperor, and a single Solar Spearhead. Now, I mean, what I'm surprised as is the utter abandonment of Solar Spearhead. It took like a menial hit. Is it this that people are afraid Mordaka just runs it over? Or is it something else in the meta that's keeping people off it?
I don't know, because I feel like it still has. I guess the Mordaka kind of scares you, but
yeah, the Solar Spearhead's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Lions of the Emperor is very good though, and the best way to not get shot by fire dragons and all that nonsense and Dark Reapers and stuff is to have lone up and stealth on a guy that zeroes all that makes all damage 1 and gets back up on death and all that stuff. So they do have a lot of tools into the current environment. And plus, that +1 hit, +1 wound means that they're like menial shooting stuff, like they're just the sentinel spears actually like kill trucks and stuff. Like actually kill trucks.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah,
not easily.
Yeah,
pretty.
But yeah, reliably. Yeah, pretty consistently. And then the last one that we have is the Tyranids breakdown. And Dustin, take it away.
10 Invasion Fleet, 4 Crusher Stampede, and 2 Vanguard Onslaught. That doesn't surprise me too much, aside from the fact that why is nobody playing Synaptic anymore? I think Synaptic still has a lot of play. I get Crusher. Crusher is.
Well, actually, see, I don't get Crusher.
You don't get Crusher
into the metagame. I don't get Crusher.
This is like the 10th time we've seen it, though.
It is, and it's usually one of the more represented ones. I feel like because people like big bugs. Like if for no other reason, people like big bugs.
There is just a cohort of Tyranid players who just want to play the big Ripley's, right?
Old One Eye is awesome.
Old One Eye is awesome.
He is.
He's also awesome in Invasion Fleet too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the Norns, right? The Norns is the big thing we're starting to see pop up in a lot of Tyranid lists. The single or double Norns. I just so my only fear about Crusher is that Fire Dragons, Dark Reapers, and all of Mordaka make a field day out of your big Gribblies.
They do have still wound you on 5s though.
Yeah, with 4 rerolls and stuff like that. I mean, the Dark Reapers, you are correct. The Dark Reapers are pretty hit and miss, but they're good as a finisher if you just need to do those last 3 to 6 wounds. Fire Dragons is the big problem.
Fire Dragons,
it's so bad losing a Tyrannofex to Fire Dragon. Just like
But I mean,
please
even in
save
Crusher,
me.
you can still have like a bunch of gargoyles in there. I cannot make a
Yeah.
tyranny list without 30 gargoyles. I can't make a GSC list without 30 gargoyles most of the time now. Like I just need my 30 gargoyles. They're so good at the game.
Crutch goils, more like crutch goils,
I will
Crutch.
gladly call them crutch goils. They're my crutch goils for sure.
See, what's interesting to me is that Vanguard, in my opinion, is the best counter to the top of the meta.
Yep.
But it gets squished out by like base Astartes builds. Just like run it over. But all that loan up, all that jank, and the right profiles and like the right amount of dice, like an orc amount of dice being thrown in combat, which are just like decent strength AP1, like from Von Ryan's Lictors and Gene Steels and stuff like that, is actually perfect for into orcs and Eldari. But the fact is, you're less likely to play those because you might not make it past the mid tables because you get sandwiched by someone who just takes a Storm Raven.
That's where the key comes in, though, because I do feel very strongly that Vanguard can be the best attachment, and you just need to kind of only build half of it as a Vanguard detachment. The rest of it, as more of an invasion fleet. So you only need half of the Vanguard. You need some of the tricks, you need some of the melee, but then
and the loan ups.
And the loan
ups.
You need the loan. The loan ups are just 6-inch loan up is.
Hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug. Especially when you have like reactive moves. Like, yep, come on, get closer. Nope. See you later.
Well, that brings us to the end of the analysis of the Sheffield Super Major boys. Time to pick some winners. And this is the first of a brand new month, which means our part 2 next week will cover all of the scores from last month as well and be anointing a winner. But Paul, you're joining us late. You want to pick first?
Eldari.
Yeah.
You punk. You didn't pick Blood Angels.
12 Blood Angels, and they're beating regular Astartes, and you're not taking Blood Angels.
16 Eldari.
We just pumped them up so hard as well. Dustin, what would you like?
I kind of have to, don't I?
You have to do Nids.
I have to do Nids, even though Paul didn't do his. I'm going to do mine, Tyranids.
I'm waiting for one of y'all to take them. Go for it. Okay. It's my gift to you this week.
How kind of you.
Generous.
How kind of you.
Benevolent.
I think you're coming through your desktop mic there.
I'm trying to fix it. Okay. I'm not. As you can see, this is not my normal setup.
Yes. He's trying to fix it for everybody listening.
Yeah, off the back of Adepticon, Paul is in New York. So no rest at all. I picked Orcs, by the way, because you guys left it on the table.
Somehow.
All right. Next up, what do we got?
Next up is the Toronto team tournament. Hey, Paul, you ready for this?
Oh no, go for it.
It is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which is a place that's pretty close to me, pretty close to home. I am super excited for this. I am bringing a team. We are going to be playing in this. It is 96 players and 12 teams of 8. It is a team event. So it is 8-man.
Max size teams.
The
full shebang.
The full shebang. So anything that is over 6 or more is what the Canadians, or more specifically the Ontario and Quebec, some of
the right side.
The right side of
Canada.
The right side of
Canada.
The right side of Canada thinks is the best. All right. So, in the Imperial Super Faction, there are 1 Sisters of Battle, 5 Custodes, 2 Admech, 7 Astra Militarum. No real surprise, I don't think. 3 Grey Knights and 4 Imperial Knights. Space Marines. There's 8 Adeptus Astartes.
I went and checked. They are all playing from So there's I think 6 of the number, or 5 or 6 of the number, are Ultramarines, and then there's like an Imperial Fist and a Raven Guard, and
there's
rest are Ultras.
Exactly it. But only 2 of them are Gladius, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stormlands.
There's a lot of Stormlands.
Yeah, a lot of Stormlands going down.
And a Vanguard. Yeah, it's a good little mix. I like it. Chaos. There's 5 Chaos Space Marines, 1 T-Sun, 5 Death Guard, 3 World Leaders, 7 Demons, 4 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 6 Necrons, 8 Orcs, which means 4 teams did not take Orcs, and more DACA is legal. 2 Tau and 5 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 2 Tyranids and 7 Genius to their cult. Welcome to my country, boys. Dari, there's 1 Drakari, and you know who that is. I don't even
know who that is.
And 6 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Astartes and Orcs topping it off with 8. No real surprise. But GSC, Demons and Astra Militarum tied in second with 7, and then Eldari and Necrons in third with 6.
Still a very good faction breakdown. 7 armies making our top 3. So good spread there, and no real surprises outside GSC, but that is a geographical nuance and the influence of you in the Underhive, Bruin, spreading your Gene Seed. No,
it's not the Gene Seed. I've made that mistake too because it sounds like it should be mine, but it's not.
It should be, right? It's Gene Stealer,
Yeah.
Gene Seed. But you're infecting. You're plague.
I'm infecting everybody. Yeah.
I've done 2 team breakdowns. Oh, sorry. Is there anything that jumps out to you boys about this army breakdown? Of course, I already went into the Adeptus Astartes numbers, and that is very surprising to me. That Adeptus Astartes. I mean, logically, with knowing the influence of Dustin and Sky's going to be there, take Deathwatch. Jesus, just to smash that mirror. Smash it.
Really
Like, do it. That's my hearty encouragement to people. Don't let Dustin win. Don't let Dustin have it all his way.
I've had a couple tournaments that I've gone to that there's like one Deathwatch player like, oh, please don't let me play that. Please don't make me play that. I don't want to play that. That's scary. Yeah. That is very scary.
A little bit lower on the Tau numbers, but good, healthy Votan numbers. And then the Chaos super faction is actually a little wonky, like very mediocre again on the Chaos Space Marines, but 5 is still a decent number, same as the Death Guard. Very low on the T-Suns, which is kind of on brand for the last 3 months. World Eaters a little low as well, but good Demons and decent numbers at Chaos Knights. And the other one that jumps out to me is where are all these Sisters of Battle players in this world? They have plenty of reason to come back to the faction, but it seems like they've all moved on to other stuff.
It's crazy.
And can't be tempted back.
One of the best players, one of the best like Sisters players in Canada, if not the best sister player in Canada, is playing Votan. Yeah, right.
What?
I saw you.
Ask him. You go, you poke him in the chest and be like, what does GW have to do to get you back?
Okay, that's a good idea. I will do that. I will go.
We the people want to know. I've got 2 team breakdowns here. The first is the Air team, which I got to say is stacked beyond all reason.
It's the A team. It's a play on words. Come on, Adam.
Yeah, stuff them. Bunch of nobodies, as you can hear. Bunch of nobodies. Inez, nobody Wilson. Jack, nobody Harpster. They're on this team. Scary, nobody Martinez. Yeah, never heard of them.
The Goon Squad, as we're calling it locally.
Yeah, but this thing is stacked beyond reason, like with international, superstar WTC level players. This starts off with a Death Guard Plague Company. I've just done the faction, the detachment, and then my impression of what kind of list it is, like what kind of archetype it is. Either what I think is their function in the team or what skew they are to give people an impression of what's being brought. So Death Guard Plague Company, tank spam. Like 5 Predators, 3 PBCs, 3 bloat drones. So all the hulls. A Eldari Devoted of Unerd, which is just the MS value pile that you expect from Yunari. Gene Steel Colts Host of Ascension, which is a horde. I think it's got in 100 plus neophytes, then a bunch of 5-man acolyte units. 110, yeah. World Eaters Berserker Warband. It's a pressure list. It's exactly what you think it is. It's like 5 or 6 units of 8-bound Angron, all the bells and whistles. Got an Astartes Ultramarines Gladius, which is just a DACA build. It's built to just savage people from range. You can expect it's a well-rounded list. Drakari Sky Splinter, lol, it's Scary. He's got 2 Void Raven Bombers. Enough said. And then Leagues of Votan, which is an Oathbound. It's an all-rounder. They literally said at the top of their list, they stole it from the Germans. It's the German list with the 2 units of Hearthguard in the 3 Sagittars with the 2 Hecatons and then 2x6 Blacks kind of make up the core of that one. And then a Chaos Demons Shadow Legion, which is just the janky jank that you expect. I think it's got 2 units of Accursed Cultists, some Havocs, and then the other pieces like the 3 units of 5 Fleshhounds, stuff like that. Bellacore.
I love this. Scary's like, hey guys, how about I take 2 Void Ravens?
It's his team skew. He loves that.
Yeah, it is. It is team skew. But that is the 8-pack from the Air team, which is the bunch of nobodies that I described. You've probably never heard of them. And what do you guys think of the 8-pack? So no guard is the only jump out here of the top meta list that I think that are skewed. There's also no Necrons as well, which a lot of people are talking about Awakened Dynasty being the core defender for a lot of 8-man pairings, being just a superb go up first or second with their 20 Necron Warriors 40 Necron Warriors or 20 Necron Warriors in a unit of Wraith and just be the unkillable primary list of your nightmares. What do we think about this 8-pack, gents?
I think the Votan takes the place of the guard in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Votan is the guard in this pack for sure. The Votan and the Death Guard actually are the 2 ones that are taking up that. Either the Hammer of the Emperor with just all the tanks, DACA, long range firepower in the Death Guard with some Jank and Mortarion and stuff like that involved. And then the Leagues of Votan is playing more that combined regiment style, where it has some decent shooting assets across a bunch of different offensive profiles. I actually really like that Votan list. I think it's superb. But the Germans have been cooking. Yeah, it's starting to really catch fire.
It is fantastic.
Yeah. I see it as having 2 lists. meant to get big wins, that being the Ultramarines Gladius, Berserker Warband, are going to be paired very aggressively, I think, to get the big wins. We have the Plague Company, which the Death Guard is the one that I'm obviously seeing wants to be playing on the lighter tables with the longer angles. Apart from that, everything else is pretty table agnostic. I suppose the Astartes would like it as well, and I suppose the World Eaters would prefer a more dense table, probably same as Yunari would prefer a more dense table. But Votan doesn't care. The Shadow Legion doesn't really care because you operate off Bellicors, you can't shoot me aura, so the table stakes don't matter as much. And then of course Sky is going to do what Sky does, going to put you in jail with beast packs and then fly bombers in and pick up your hopefully Space Marines is what he's there to pair into.
Space Marines for sure.
Yeah, he wants Space Marine-esque matchups. Sisters count, Chaos Space Marines count, a bunch of different stuff. Hell, even Tau counts, I believe, for the profiles he's wielding. He's actually very good into Tau as well. But yeah, that's that 8-pack, boys, and people are expecting this faction to this team to win because it's stacked to silly levels of nonsense. But there's a bunch of really good factions they're not taking, and I think that, to Paul's extent, shines on the diversity of the meta, and that there's so many takeable things.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess the players and what they prefer in their playstyle does take a lot of factor in it too.
Yeah,
like every single one of these players is playing what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, you're never taking Skari off Drakari,
No.
unless he really wants to, and he doesn't want to. We know this. The next one up is Blunt Force Trauma, which traditionally is a team that provides Team Canada with sometimes half the WTC team. So there's usually a bunch of the WTC team guys will be from this squad. So first up, we have the Necrons Awakened Dynasty list that I was talking about, which is a horde. It's got 2x20 Necron warriors. We've got an Orcs Mordaka. It's Mordaka. I'm surprised though. The previous, the Air team didn't take Orcs either.
Nope.
Yeah, no Orcs, no Guard, no Necrons. Yeah, wow. Grey Knights Teleport Strike Force, which is just the janky up and downy run away with mist stuff like that. We have Astartes Ultramarine Stormlance. It's taking a Storm Raven build. We have another Leagues of Votan Oathbound, which is very similar to the other one, but I think it has a much lighter on the Sagittars, and I believe it has the 3rd Hecaton. I've got Astra Militarum Combined Arms, another nice all-rounder. Only one Rogal Dawn, but I think it's got 3 Lehman Russes, and then the rest of it. A Custodius Solar Spearhead, which of course built to smash, and then another Eldari Devoted of Your Nerd MSU value, and that's the 8-pack by Blunt Force Trauma. And they've taken all the major food groups. They've got the Orcs, they've got the Astartes, they've got the Astra Militarum, they've got the Eldari. So they've got like the top 4 builds and taken in their kind of competitive functions. I think you could skew the Astra Militarum a little harder into one way or another, like taking more boys, taking more toys. But they've gone right down the middle with that list.
Mm-hmm. For sure. They always know what they're doing with their team comp. The players know their lists. They know their armies. Francois likes to jump around to like the really strong stuff right now. He's been playing Space Marines a lot, but because Mordaka's allowed.
Yep.
Here he comes.
They've got this 3-pack of high durability skews, just inherently in the builds. That being the Votan, the Astra Militarum, and the Custodies. The Custodies are kind of playing like your spicy knights. They're playing like knights, adjacent.
Yeah.
Then the Astra Militarum, of course, it's got like I think 8+ high toughness hulls, and then of course the Leagues of Votan, if I remember correctly, has the triple hecatons. So they're playing 3 of their lists as just very high durability skews, which I like a lot. I think that's kind of a cute way to go with it.
A combined Omtra and the Astra Militarum means that you don't necessarily have to have one table or another. You can play wherever you go and you're still effective.
Yeah, whereas like Hammer of the Emperor, as a lot of people like taking, needs a bit more table protection, right? Because you're wielding like 2 to 3+ Dawns, and there's just some WTC tables they just struggle on for lines of sight.
Yeah, but the fun fact with the Hammer, I think a lot of players aren't skewing hard enough into the damage part of it. They're just using the ability to go through walls, and some of the strats they can do, like fall back and shoot, is incredible for guard. Something they've always missed. I think combined arms is actually more of the damage list.
I actually agree, because there isn't actually any damage increasing buffs in Hammer of the Emperor. It's all logistical improvements. Exactly. It's all things to make your play easier with big models. Whereas your Hammer of the Emperor has kind of got a bit of everything. Yeah, it's got a bit of extra movement and logistic ability, a bit of extra damage, a bit of extra jank. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see people going back to it. But gentlemen, that is the end of the Toronto Open. It's time to pick some winners, and we're making Dustin go last because, of course, this is Dustin's event and he is playing. And if he doesn't pick GSC, I'm going to be absolutely ashamed of him.
If you guys pick GSC, you can have it, but otherwise, I'm picking GSC.
All right, I'll put GSC in. Good man. Back in yourself. Paul, what would you like?
Go with Orcs this time.
Yeah, that's a good call. Very good call. Oh, I'm just going to have a look at the Air team, and I'm going to pick somebody. Oh, you're picking Gene Silicots because Inez is playing GSC as well, aren't you? You're backing yourself and you're picking Inez.
I got it backed up.
You are. You sharked us. You absolutely sharked us. Well done, sir. I'm picking Eldari.
That's fair.
Yeah, I know 2 superstar Eldari players.
Yep.
But that is the end of the events that we're going to be covering.
That's that.
Yeah. No, well, now we do something silly sometimes.
Yep, and we'll do a shout out. There is quite a stacked Spanish event with 200 plus players that I did want to cover, but I had my slot to get the show done yesterday. I had about 2 hours set aside to get the show done, and the list went unlocked. And that's the only slot I had for it this week. Of course, being jet lagged, come back from Adepticon. So shout out to that event. I think it's a Toledo event. Hopefully they have a great weekend. And yeah, apologies we didn't get to cover it, but it's your fault. It's your fault. Actually, no apologies. Screw you. Unlock your lists. I wanted to cover your stuff and I couldn't.
Oh, those were not locked? Okay. I was about to say, look, no, we'll do it next time. But no, we need the list unlocked.
Yeah, we do. Don't be an apologist there, Paul. Don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You're my boy. You're in my foxhole.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the silliness, boys. Cracking knuckles.
All right, here we go. Here's the hard stuff. All right. So we are still in the movie playoffs. We did horror last time. We got the winner of that one, which I believe was The Shining, wasn't it? The Shining goes on to the championship.
The Shining.
So now,
Lost Boys. I want to give a shout out to the Lost Boys.
Would it have beaten The Shining though?
It wouldn't have, but it would have gone pretty deep.
We got pretty deep.
My vote.
Really?
Against The Shining?
Really?
Wow.
Saxophones, vampires.
Look, it's debatably the best horror movie of the 80s because it had all the 80s. It's quintessential 80s in every way. The hair, the attitudes, the everything. But it's not being The Shining, brother.
Okay. Well, this week it's comedy. It's time for comedy. Now there was 18 of them we had to go through, so I actually segregated 2 outside of it because they're the same actor, same genre. Like I did the 2 Monty Python ones and I did the 2 Will Ferrell ones. We have to get out of the way first, and then the real tree starts. So to start it off, we have to do Talladega Nights versus Anchorman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so.
Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights.
Oh, I was going to go Anchorman. I'm going Anchorman.
Damn it, I was hoping you guys had decided it without me having to do it.
No, you got to be fast, otherwise yours is going to be on your head.
They mentioned Highlander is the best movie of all time and Talladega Nights. There's a scene where, these colors don't run and he bends, he's pushing them down and it's like, it's the American flag colors and then he pushes them down in the configuration of the French flag colors. So there's all these subtle.
So I'm simply going off which one I quote more.
Okay.
And it's Anchorman.
Yeah?
That's it. Because I think as films. Okay. Well, then, is that the way you're going? We're going Talladega Nights?
Okay. I'm going to say this, because my wife and I do this a lot. We watch both those movies quite often. When we look at both Talladega Nights and Anchorman, like, which one of these do you want to watch? I'm pretty sure I point at Talladega Nights most of the time.
And that's that. I've been outvoted. It is what it is.
All right, so Talladega Nights 2-1.
And Highlander is the best movie of all time. It won an Oscar.
It's the greatest movie ever made. All right.
Go ahead. You go. It's irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
What's next?
So the next one is we need to get Monty Python out of the way. So Search for the Holy Grail versus Life of Brian.
Holy Grail for me.
Yeah, I think it's Holy Grail for me too, yeah.
Holy Grail.
I almost didn't put this in because I figured it was going to be Holy Grail, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No, it's confirmed.
Okay. Confirmed. All right, now we can get into the actual round 1. So, I actually can use the Vega for the first one.
Man, that was just the preamble?
That was the preamble, yeah. I needed to get those out. So Spaceballs versus Dr. Strangelove. Spaceballs.
Doesn't matter now, does it?
Spaceballs. No, you can make a case.
No, you can make a case. You can get us to change our vote. Come on, Adam. Don't give up that quick.
I can't go against
Spaceballs.
I can't go against Spaceballs anyway. I don't have a compelling argument to go against Spaceballs.
This is Spaceballs, the segment.
Look. The fourth wall breaks on Spaceballs are just some of the.
They are, yeah.
They're some of the best done in all of filmmaking. Yeah.
All right.
Dr. Strangelove is like formative in the comedy genre. Like,
Yep.
is you guys, you did it to me. All right,
100%
fine.
agree.
Spaceballs.
Baseball.
Damn it.
All right. Spaceballs 3-0's Dr. Strangelove. I don't think Dr. Strangelove deserved that, but here we are.
It did not deserve that.
That's the way the brackets work
Well,
sometimes.
we have to take in our age as well
We
into
do,
this,
yeah.
so people at home know that I watched Spaceballs a lot earlier than I watched Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
Because it was a more poignant to my
Yep.
my generation thing, and so it's probably more impactful in my psyche.
Yep.
But the giant, never mind. It's so good. Spaceballs is fantastic.
It's great.
The Schwartz.
All right, next up. Naked Gun 2.5 technically versus Team America.
Team America.
Yeah.
I'm going Team America.
It's Naked Gun for me.
God damn it, you two.
Yeah.
Team America is freaking amazing. They did it all with puppets and the vomiting scene. It gets me every time.
You're not funny.
I think we figured this out, eh? I don't know if this was an April Fool's joke or something, but I just saw before the show that they are doing a Naked Gun with Liam Neeson as Drebin's son. And
wow.
I am so for it. I am so excited.
I'm here for it.
If it's legit, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Dude, I mean, we've gone the satirical comedy route. Has never been the same since they stopped making those. Like Hot Shots, I believe, was the last time I saw that satirical comedy done well.
Yep.
Maybe the first Scary Movie, and then they were just a train wreck of nonsense that I haven't engaged with. But that was like we're like a good we're in a good like 15-20 year drought on good satirical comedy.
It needs to happen. Go check out the trailer. I don't know if it was actually funny, but I was just too excited when I saw the trailer. It looked good. I'm excited. All right, next up. Zoolander versus Ghostbusters.
What is going on? What is going on?
We're asking the hard questions here.
This is rough. Because I was expecting to be voting for Zoolander pretty deep into this. But no, I am voting for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's freaking Ghostbusters.
Can it really beat Ghostbusters? It should have gone deep, but...
All right, look, I'll give the mercy vote to Zoolander for this. So it's killing me because Ghostbusters is clear.
Okay, so 2-1 Ghostbusters. That's a kind of a
Ghostbusters was a lot more than. I mean, Ghostbusters spawned a brand.
Yeah.
That has cartoons, multiple video games. It's a genre-spanning show. Whereas Zoolander, like the second one, sucked, and that's as good as that. That's as deep as Zoolander's legacy has gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Despite the walk-off, despite Blue Steel, despite all the funny stuff like Derelict, it's just got it has no legacy that holds a candle to Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters cartoon was freaking awesome.
It was.
Just putting it out.
All the Halloween stuff, the Sam Haines stuff,
yeah,
the cartoon,
yeah.
All right. Next up, Goonies versus Undercover Blues.
I'm already going to call it.
I will gladly call it.
Unless you guys like stop me, Goonies is getting in the final. Freaking Goonies. I can quote that movie verbatim from start to finish in everyone's voice.
Well,
that is one of the most
comedy and number of laughs per like scene.
Really? You're going really?
How dare you, Paul?
Really?
But as a body of work, Goonies wins hands down.
Absolutely it does.
Are we 3-0ing with Goonies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good man.
Okay. Robin Hood Men in Tights versus Groundhog Day. It's only going to get harder, man. It's only going to get harder.
No, we saw this last time.
Oh, that's true.
The first round was the hardest.
That's true.
And then it kind of got easy. Jeez, I love both of these so deeply.
Men in Tights.
Oh.
Tim?
Men in Tights. Yeah. When the goldfish, eaten by the goldfish. Oh.
Yeah, I have to go Men in Tights. I have to.
The castle getting repoed, just getting towed away.
Yeah, it's too funny. I can't.
Yeah. And Groundhog Day got too serious towards the end. They tried to put meaning into it.
Yeah.
They tried
to make me think. Yeah. How dare they?
And make me feel. Even though the movie is freaking superb.
Did y'all see Bill Murray on Hot Ones?
No.
Yeah, he's on Hot Ones, and he talks about his experience on Groundhog Day. It is funny. But Men in Tights still wins.
Are you changing your vote now, Adam?
No.
No, I put it at 3-0.
No.
It's over. It's over.
It's over.
Groundhog Day's out.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
That one hurt me. That one hurt me.
This one might not be much better. Beetlejuice versus Airplane.
So we already let in Naked Gun. We already have the satirical comedy, but Airplane is like possibly the best one of the.
I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
Shit.
Do you like gladiator movies?
Do I like what? Sorry.
Gladiator movies.
As in, like the Gladiator movies, the two of them that they've made now.
Beetlejuice wins.
Beetlejuice wins. Yeah, I believe Beetlejuice wins.
Yeah, that's a 3-0.
The practical effects, the story, like the fact that they like the world building really behind it, the score, the cast is like perfection from top to bottom. Yeah, what's the name of the mum? Delia. She's a flake. Yeah. I have every car that I own. Her name is Delia.
Oh.
Every car that I've ever owned, her name has been Delia because of the mum of Beetlejuice.
I can't believe Airplane gets 3-0.
I can't believe it either.
That's not okay.
Chat does not agree 100%.
Yeah, okay.
But they know we're going. They know we're being put through the ringer here. This is a meat grinder.
This is not easy.
This is
no.
All right, the Caddyshack now versus the Will Ferrell winner, which was Talladega Nights. So Caddyshack versus
Will Ferrell.
Caddyshack versus Talladega Nights.
I'm going Caddyshack.
Yeah, you don't have Talladega Nights without Caddyshack.
Without Caddyshack.
Yeah.
And Caddyshack is perfect. It has the story. It has the silliness. It has the victory against the bourgeoisie at the end as well. It has what's his face? Who's the funny guy? Hey, I've put it back in. It's not done yet. What's his name?
Rodney Dangerfield?
Dangerfield, exactly. It's got Dangerfield in it. Everything that guy touches is gold. Yeah.
Well, Chad is hard into Caddyshack. Yeah, this is a 3-0.
Caddyshack.
Let's go.
3-0.
And then it
had Bill Murray, and it had never mind.
The last one of round one now is the Blues Brothers versus Search for the Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Blues Brothers.
Oh, we're a tie. We're a tie.
Ooh, it's Holy Grail for me. It's not even a contest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I quite like the Blues Brothers.
I do too. But Holy Grail for me is
like,
it is. Oh, Holy Grail is. Yeah, that is another one that I quote.
Yeah, make your case. If you think we can be swayed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, how many times do you repeat throughout the year that you're on a mission from God?
But how many times do you say nee? I say nee all the time, baby. I say it's tis but a scratch.
I throw holy hand grenades at least twice a week.
Yeah.
All right.
In the bathroom or like?
Do you want me to explain that further?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 2-1 for Holy Grail.
2-1 for Holy Grail. Feels bad though, man. Feels real bad. This whole thing has felt bad.
That's what a competition.
All of these feel bad. All right, and now we are into round 2. So, Caddyshack versus Spaceballs.
Shit. Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look.
Yeah.
Spaceballs is so great because of the reference material that it parodied. The greatness of Spaceballs reflects the greatness of the first 3 Star Wars movies. Caddyshack kind of represents your teenage fight against authority, which, while no less impactful, is like, I don't know, they're not working with anywhere near as much.
That's a 2-1 for Spaceballs. Then I'm going Caddyshack.
I mean,
wow.
The Kenny Loggins song in Caddyshack, though, that's like,
it's really
how
good.
many points you giving it? Are you considering?
I am correct, right? Like, so Caddyshack had Chevy Chase and
Bill Murray.
Right?
Yep.
Jeez, and
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh man, it's got like the Mount Rushmore is like in that, but still, I'm going.
Wow.
Because also when that Mount Rushmore
Dancing
is.
Gopher. And Kenny Loggins at his is practically on his almost zenith of power.
And we're still going Spaceballs.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
2-1. Wow. That one hurts too. Wow. All right. Naked Gun versus Ghostbusters. It's Ghostbusters, right?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Ghostbusters 3-0.
Yeah. Yep. That one was easy.
Oh,
Really?
Ooh. Search for the Holy Grail against Goonies.
Monty Python
Yep.
versus Goonies.
Yep. This was supposed to get easier.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna have to do some
Goonies.
soul searching here.
I'm
What'd
going
you go, Paul?
Goonies
You
for
on Goonies?
like I think 100 years from now, we might still be watching Goonies.
I'm going Grail. And I hate myself for it because I said I wouldn't go versus Goonies and Goonies would get the final, but Holy Grail.
Really? You're going Grail? What did you go, Paul?
We're
Goonies.
1 for 1.
Damn it, guys.
Yep. I'm going Holy Grail for the sheer impact of on pop culture the Holy Grail's had. And Goonies has not had much less. But I'm more going with the vote of legacy than a single movie impact here. That's the only thing I'm on the
Chat's
line.
torn too.
They are. Goonies affected my life.
This is
What,
not.
no one watches
This is not
Goonies?
helping, guys.
Mm.
They both affected my life.
Do the truffle shuffle.
There's one quote that you could say that would sway me instantly.
It's a silly place. Ruth, baby.
Those are all good ones. But it's hey,
Goonies
you guys.
never say die.
It's hey, you guys. I love
Hey, you
Sloth.
guys.
I love Sloth. I'm going Goonies.
No.
I'm going Goonies.
I'm not unhappy though. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I couldn't lose it. I couldn't lose this round.
Jeez, that was hard.
That was hard.
Robin Hood Men in Tights versus Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice.
right?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice. The sheer strength of the cast.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just even if you don't look at it as a comedy, it's just a great film. You could study it as a kid in school for practical effects and cinematography and stuff like that. And I just don't know how they got that cast together.
I know. Back then, you had to be like, "Is that Michael Keaton, the guy?"
Yeah, correct.
He
Michael
doesn't do
Keaton.
this. Yeah.
Michael Keaton went from being a superhero to being a filthmonger creepster with born to do it.
No, in reverse. I think that was reversed.
Oh,
wasn't it?
reverse. Either way. He reinvented himself as Batman after playing Beetlejuice. That's amazing. I thought it was the other way around.
No, I think it was. Yeah,
That's crazy. Okay. All right, semifinals. Spaceballs versus Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
It's got to be Ghostbusters, right? Has to be. There's no way.
It's a hard call. It's a hard call, man.
it is Ghostbusters. It has to be Ghostbusters.
It has
But
to
like, where? Okay, chat. Are we wrong?
Are we wrong, chat? Is it not Ghostbusters? Yeah, everybody's saying
No,
Ghostbusters.
no,
It's
everybody's
Ghostbusters.
saying
It's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the last of the satirical comedies, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the last of the purely satirical comedies. So it made it to the semis, right?
It made it to the semis, yeah. So that's not bad. That's not bad.
Hmm.
All right.
That's not
and
bad.
then Goonies versus Beetlejuice.
These are two of my favorite films of all time, by the way. These are the films that
Yeah.
me and all four of my brothers would sit down and watch on repeat.
What would I watch again right now? Like if it was on right now, what would I watch?
Either of them.
Either of them.
They're both
Yeah,
on. Which
it
one are
is.
you watching?
I'd be very happy to watch either of them. I'm getting a 4+ on this for me.
This is what we've come to.
I'm copping out. I'm copping out, boys.
I need it commitment.
We need commitment. Chat, help
The
us out here.
rankings-
Come on, chat.
The purity needs commitment.
Come on, chat. Goonies or Beetlejuice? We're getting.
Two
I'm
movies
going-
that are
I-
moved.
I'm going Beetlejuice.
Ooh. Ooh.
I don't feel good about it.
I mean, like Josh Brolin is in.
Yeah,
Goonies.
dude.
Like
so
how-
many like actors got their start.
That's
The
true,
story
yeah.
that who's the actor that plays Data? And Mikey went on to be Sam in Lord of the Rings, but then Winona Ryder, Michael Keaton, the lady who played the mum went to the mum in Schitt's Creek as well as
Beetlejuice.
Home Alone.
Beetlejuice.
I'm going Beetlejuice.
Really?
Beetlejuice.
I'm going Goonies.
Okay. What did chat say?
Goonies. Like it's all
They said-
Goonies right now.
The chat said Blazing Saddles.
Chat is saying Blazing Saddles.
That's not a bad call.
It's not a bad call.
I assumed we had enough satirical comedies in there, but Blazing Saddles is
I
up
don't
there
think
for me.
Blazing
with, like,
Saddle
Naked Gun.
beats either of these though. Personally.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
Great one.
so
Absolutely great one.
Beetlejuice
Definitely not.
progresses. And then what's Ghostbusters against?
It'll be against one of these ones, whatever one says.
Okay. Oh, we know. Beetlejuice won.
Yeah. So Ghostbusters against Beetlejuice.
Ghostbusters.
Beetlejuice.
Damn it, guys! Okay, chat.
No, I'm joking.
No.
It's Ghostbusters. It's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think it's Ghostbusters.
I do like
It's
the two
Ghostbusters.
horror comedies.
That's funny. That's
Exactly.
funny, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe it speaks to our tastes more than anything else, but
True.
Ghostbusters is a more complete film.
It's an imperfect system, but it was our system, so it's fine.
It was. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the winner of the comedy genre is Ghostbusters.
I have to run. I love
Yes.
you all. Finish up the show. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye, Adam. All right. That's it for our show.
Dustin, take us home.
Taking us home. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for this week's show of the Meta Chasers. I hope you don't completely disagree with our assessment of these comedy genre.
Let us know in the comments where you
Yeah,
do
we
disagree.
want to know.
That's what-
We want to know, yeah. Because there's a lot of things. Like, this was not easy, guys. Like, I don't think you understand how hard this actually is when you have to do it. When you have to be the one to say one of your favorite movies is not beating another one of them. And that is going to be another week gone in the dust until we do this again next week.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We'll
see
see you
you
next
all.
week.